Chucky says Aunt Maggie is a bitch and she got what she deserved.
That's right. We watched Child's Play this week on The Movie Gap, the podcast that has you scream. How have you not seen that? 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 Little darling, how have you not seen this? How have you not seen it? Welcome to the Movie Gap. I am your host, Chase Austin. As always, to my left, the tech wizard himself, audio master, Bryce Perkins.
Just in the nick of time. Just in the nick of time.
Okay.
Yeah. Forgot about it. Hey, everybody.
So,
I'm happy to be here, Chase.
good. Well,
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad that you're here. And we are joined by special guest, fan favorite, and artist extraordinaire of the Movie Gap, Mr. A.P. Stark.
Hello, love.
Sounded like Ed.
Oh, maybe I am Ed.
Oh, shit.
Did he do that voodoo transfer spirit thing?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, did Ed? Ed, did you
I learned a lot
Chucky
from this
into Stark's body? Was that you, Ed,
Oh.
doing a Chucky into Stark's body and right before you died?
Bryce, I told you not to tell anybody. I told you I'm just a simple Englishman stuck inside of a... Oh, my God, you made me say it.
Busted.
Fuck you, Bryce. Go back
fell
to
for
the
my
Pentecostal
tricks.
Coast Guard or whatever it is.
You fell for my tricks.
Just by the tip of me, Prince.
Just by the tip of his prince.
I-O.
All right.
Big skill.
All right. So, so before we get started, Bryce, well, let's let our guest go first.
Yeah.
Stark, how have you been? It's been, a couple of months since we've had you on. The last time we had you on, it was July. We did Jaws,
was
correct?
it that long ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2020 is just macerating.
Time
It
is a flat circle.
Yeah. Yes. And, things have been going pretty well, I guess. Still, I don't think I've eaten in a restaurant since March. Haven't done really anything since March. So slowly and surely going insane. But all in all, not so shabby.
Well, good. Well, we're glad you're here, as always.
Well, fantastic.
Damn. That sounds super fun. So, great of you to join us to talk about this, just poetic cinema.
Yeah.
Bryce,
What's up?
how have you been, sir?
I've been doing great. Little known, well, I think some loyal listeners know me and Stark work together, and me and Stark were talking to each other at when we were working over at did I scare you for a second there, Stark? Did you think I was about to say where we fucking work, dude? That would have fucking sucked, right?
The code of conduct.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I've been having a blast just goofing around with old Starky, sending funny emails to each other. And other than that, when I'm not at work, I sleep in a tomb and I don't do anything. So that's what I'm doing now. It's a therapy thing, for physical therapy.
Is that like sleeping in Foreverwhere?
What's that?
I bet Stark remembers Foreverwhere.
Foreverwhere.
Yeah.
What the fuck is Foreverwhere?
Did you ever watch a little show called Erie, Indiana?
Oh yeah,
Oh, I've heard of that show.
you're talking about the Tupperware where they would keep themselves from aging.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, the Foreverwhere. Then I forget the rest of the song.
Well,
that was a show. That was a children's show that ran for 13 episodes and somehow was on for 4 years. They just kept playing the same episodes on Fox Kids. I was like, man, this show's great, but like I keep seeing the same episode.
It was a kids show. That's right. Okay, it's all coming back.
Yeah, and I remember watching it in like the early 90s, I must have been like 7 or 8.
Yeah,
it was like
that's
Power
right.
Rangers time, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And yet I looked it up, and that show actually originally aired in like 1988 or some shit.
Oh wow.
So like they just re-aired.
Yeah, it was already reruns.
being
Yeah, it was
rerun.
yeah, and it was only like 13 episodes.
when we were
But yeah,
kids.
that's the one I remember specifically. So anyway, I just thought that was fun because it's a horror, and we're talking horror this week
That's right.
because it is we're deep into spooky
Spooktober.
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 Scary movies. Bryce goes pee pee poopy in his little diapies.
That's right. I
Yeah,
haven't been able to stop all month.
I do want to say that I'm quite excited to finally be part of the Spooky-tober section of Movie Gap. You know, the library. It's always been a dream of mine, and I just appreciate you guys making that dream come true.
Hey, it's well, the most we could do.
That's why we started doing this podcast.
Just make sure we get credit
Make my dreams come true.
for
right?
Yes.
fulfilling your make-a-wish.
Yeah.
You are dying, correct?
Yeah.
that's the most awkward improv most awkward initiation. Hey, what's up, Bill? You are dying, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, and fuck you, dude. How about that?
Well, I just want you to know that if you do ever have a terminal illness, every time I see you, I'll be like, Bryce, you're dying, right?
Yeah.
Let me get your opinion on this.
How's
You're
it dying?
right?
You are still dying.
How's it dying, buddy?
How's it dying?
How's it dying?
Every breath a gift.
Every breath a gift. Yeah.
It's like small talk to a man who's dying. Like, what the fuck is that?
Right.
How's the breathing going? Sure, you're gonna miss that.
Every breath a gift, but certainly not when it's wasted talking to you, Chaz.
So we record them and put them on the internet, so everyone else has to gets a chance to suffer through it.
Yes.
All right, so let's get into this.
Yes.
Stark, I know that you've seen this before, or you had seen this before. So let's go ahead and get a start with Bryce. You had never seen Child's Play, correct?
That is correct.
You had never seen any of the Child's Play movies.
Zero, zilch.
Okay, and
No
there are
Child's Play experience.
It still fucking baffles me.
Yeah, there are 8 of them now.
Yeah.
If you include the reboot. The little doll that could.
So 7 from the original franchise, and then a reboot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Stark.
Reboot.
Nice.
So
Stark, you probably know this too. I'm pretty sure that all of the other ones are in the same universe or whatever. Correct?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And they all have the connective tissue of Don Mancini.
Oh yeah, no. I think that Don Mancini is the producer, right? And he's the only one that was.
He wrote. Well,
he wrote
and created Chuck the story by.
That's
and
right.
He has a writing credit.
And he didn't. I think he didn't get a writing credit on the original.
He did.
He
was in there with Tom. Yeah, his name's on there with Tom Holland.
Well, I know that they had to kick him off the set because Tom kept changing so much of his stuff. Yeah. Like the original script, I have some notes about the original script that are very different from what it ended up being.
Okay.
But I think he said about 50% of it is still there. And but he
I remember.
Yeah. So yeah, but he's been the one who has written all of those. Do you know if he worked on the reboot?
No, he did not. The reboot was done completely independently of him. Wow. He was all pissed about it.
Oh wow.
Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. So we'll get into this.
What was that guy's name? Not Tom Holland, but what was
Don Mancini.
Don Mancini. Okay.
Yeah. So
he's a Mancini that Mino. It doesn't work for him.
Minosino.
No, Micino.
Minosini.
There it is.
There it is.
It was right there, literally.
I do want to say that, like, real quick though, like, before you start getting into it, that this is a film. A lot of times whenever we talk about films, like I have my connections to memories and childhood. This film was one that my mother used to torment me so much as a child. It is unbelievable.
What?
She actually bought this giant I think it was called like a Good Guy doll, or
Yeah.
well, I think Good Guy.
Yeah.
I think it was.
the film.
Are they good guy in the film? It was My Buddy.
Yeah, My Buddy.
My
It was
Buddy
something
in,
that sounded
in
like
real
that,
life. Yeah.
but there was an actual doll.
Yeah.
And it was like really big, life-size doll, and she would put it at the end of our hallway. Then turn off all the lights. We like be watching something scary. Then she'd say, "Hey, Aaron, can you go grab something from my room real quick?" And then she would like straight up have me
What?
walk down the hall, and then I would see it sitting there and scream my ass off. I used to have nightmares about it.
Whoa.
That's my family for you.
Jesus, dude. So did you have? I mean, damn. Well, so does it suck watching this movie again?
Well, not really, because I mean, the thing is that it's, the ones that I remember the most from being a child were like Child's Play 3, where they go to the military boot camp, and Child's Play 2 to a certain extent. The first one I never really watched as much, but it's one of those ones where I watched it as a small child when I shouldn't have.
Right.
Just like Nightmare on Elm
Yeah.
Street on like, oh, bro.
Was that?
That's-
My Buddy.
That's the
Oh,
actual My
God.
Buddy doll. So if you could tell, it is
Bro.
almost exactly like Chucky,
Right.
just a little bit
Just
different
a
colors.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it was a real doll, and my mom would use it to scare me. And so thanks, Mom. It's the magic of childhood, but at the same time,
Yeah.
that's where we get our love for scaring people. So
Yeah.
anyway, I just wanted to give that little.
That's one of
anecdote.
those things where you can be like, oh, you kids don't know how good you got it back in my day. My mom would torture me with life-size Chucky dolls.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have honestly, like, watching this movie this time around, I was like, when I have a kid, I'm going to show him that very first scene when that kid makes that breakfast and makes that huge fucking mess.
Yeah,
and then just show him, like, the murderous
Yeah.
doll. Be like, if you
This is what
fucking make a mess,
Yeah.
this happens. This doll will come and kill you
Dude.
and all of us.
Yeah.
Don't make a mess.
I felt bad.
Yeah, that's the messiest fucking kid on the face of the
Dude.
planet. That is one of the notes that I have.
All right, hold on. We'll get into it.
I
We'll
felt
get
bad
into it.
because he was the whole time he was doing that. I just wanted to smack him upside the fucking head. And then he was like, "I made this for your birthday," and I was like, "Oh, all right,
Don't.
but still don't."
It was just
Also,
a
hey
total
mom,
mess.
wake the fuck up! Your
I
kid's
know.
awake.
Was she like hung over or something? She was already like
That's what
late
it
for
seemed like.
work. This kid
Yeah.
was supposed to be in school,
Yeah,
and like he was now late. I did notice in that scene that we now we have an ongoing theme that is weaving its way into Stark's movies that he does with us, which there's always a
Imminent
fucked up kid,
attack.
yeah, or something happened with a kid. You got
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
You know, we got Never Ending Story.
Yep.
We got
Yeah.
Jaws, and we got
Yeah.
this, and something specifically in that scene that connects this with Never Ending Story is the just obscene use of butter.
Wait. Oh yeah, that's
Never
right.
Ending
I
Story, there's
forgot
that-
about
That
that.
mountain of butter
Oh,
on the
yeah,
table.
dude. Yeah.
guys-
and then
you
this
guys are
kid,
catching
same
on.
thing. Yeah.
I tell you what, I still have nightmares about the size of that butter on
yeah,
the table.
on that extremely burnt toast.
Well, no, in the Never Ending Story.
in the
this
Never Ending
was-
Story.
This was just a kid being a moron.
Right.
That dad put that butter out.
Yeah.
What a shitty
Listen,
dad.
you need to stop crying about your dead mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That dad is me when I grow up. And just he goes from, so you dying to, so your mom's dead, right?
Yeah.
Grow up.
Oh, it's good.
Oh.
It's good.
So
Guy.
anyway, excuse me.
Say, well, it's awkward silence there.
Well, it wasn't. He was playing a sound.
Yeah. I played a soundbite.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah. So anyway, Bryce.
Yeah.
I know we've already started talking about it a little bit. Well, what did you know going into this film?
I knew. Well, first, also, let me say before we get into it, it smells great in here.
Yeah.
And thank you for so kindly informing me that last week when we were recording it, quote unquote, I smelled like quote unquote shit.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being so honest, and starting my day with you with that.
Well, I could have done
was
it
really
last time
good.
when there was nothing you could do about it.
Well, that's fair. Well, see, here's the thing. It's a double-edged sword, right? Because hurt my feelings, of course. Of course, my feelings were very hurt. However, I do need to know that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So
See, like if you had come back and still smelled that bad, I would have been like, something is going on.
yeah, what's
Bryce
going on
is
in
having
your
some
house?
troubles
Yeah.
or something.
Well, it is Spooktober, and I am constantly shitting and peeing my pants because I'm constantly frightened. So there is that.
yeah,
But I guess I just did a better job of masking it today.
yeah.
So thank you for that, Chase. That being said, my first note on this movie is Return of the Prince. Last week we did a movie starring Chris Sarandon and Tom Holland. This week we do another movie with Tom Holland and fucking Chris Sarandon.
Chris Sarandon, both of them together.
And he's the prince from The Princess Bride.
Yeah,
the
Humperdinck.
the Prince Humperdinck, the asshole.
Yeah,
The Princess Buttercup.
That I was very well. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised. It made sense knowing it's Tom Holland. He's using the same guy. And then but it was still it was still kind of neat. And then fucking Billy from Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah,
pops
Brad
back up
Dourif.
again.
Yeah.
So that answers the question we had. What happened to that guy? Well, now I fucking have a better idea of what he ended up doing.
And not too much else. He does a lot of little horror stuff. He was in Stark. Do you know what?
Oh wait,
big
you
movie
wanted to
he was
ask me
in?
what I knew about this movie before we go.
Yeah,
I gotta do that.
what's
part.
Yeah, hold on. What did you know about this movie?
I knew about Chucky. He's an icon, so I was very familiar with Chucky and the killer doll.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that, and then I knew that Jennifer Tilly plays the bride of Chucky in that sequel. But that that's about it, really. I didn't know how Chucky becomes evil or any of that stuff.
Okay,
so I was pretty.
So
fresh.
you were pretty much fresh.
Yes.
So this had gotten like the zeitgeist. This had reached the zeitgeist enough that you knew a lot about it.
Oh yeah.
Granted, 7 films.
Right. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, it's in what's the word? Ensconced in popular culture, entrenched in popular culture, whatever you want to say.
Oddly enough, one of the only I guess more or less large horror franchises that is never mentioned. If I'm correct, it's never mentioned in Scream.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they.
Yeah, that's right.
Definitely not the first one, but I don't think it's in any of them.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But
well, you will one
it is
day.
technically a slasher flick. I mean,
Yeah, it's definitely a slasher flick.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, speaking of, I know that you said you had a connection to this film because your mother liked to scare the shit out of you, Stark. But do you typically enjoy slasher flicks or the horror genre in general?
horror genre is my favorite genre, but I rarely find films inside of it that I enjoy, and it's because I love it so much, I think. So,
Yeah.
I'm very critical. I still look at it with the same critical eye I look at, a drama or a comedy. So, rarely is there one that really makes me go, man, that was a great movie. Like Hereditary. We've talked about that before. And,
Yeah.
this is definitely not one of them. This is not a film that was a very good film. It's funny enough. I was watching with Haley, and she also had never seen it before too. So it was fun watching it with somebody who'd never seen it before. And it made me realize, oh my gosh, why was I so scared of this as a kid? So silly.
Yeah, that's always the good. That's always a fun thing to do, is like rewatching those things as an adult, or finally when we did a lot of the like we did Halloween, we did Freddy Krueger. What's the other one we've done? The big one.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, that's what I just said.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, yeah. And those were all franchises that when I was a kid, I wouldn't dare fucking go near because I was like just a pussy like that or whatever. I was like, nah, that's going to scare the shit out of me. Fuck that. But then now I watch them as adult and go, oh yeah, that's really not, it's really more cool than scary.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
It's a movie.
But it did instill a fear in me of dolls that has survived the test of time. To this day, I'm still so scared of dolls.
Yeah.
And I will say one thing that I do like about this movie that it kind of does it towards the end, the more human he becomes, it stops. But they don't make the doll scary. It's just creepy because it's this fucking doll.
Yeah, and the idea of it.
Yeah. Because even with Annabelle, you're like, well, yeah, that's a scary looking fucking doll.
Yeah.
When it would be scarier if it was just a little doll.
Yeah, dude.
But it's because it was a doll, and then Chucky, the doll was slowly becoming a human being, which is what makes it even creepier. Like, the idea is creepy as fuck. I just think it was kind of it wasn't a very well done movie.
That's where I disagree on this.
Because it's not. You're right, but at the same time, for the idea being so fucking ridiculous, I feel like they did just about as good as they could with it.
What they did, and it's a weird line, because is it like scary or is it comedy? And what this movie did that the other ones eschew quite a bit, especially after 3, is that this one is a straightforward horror film. Like, they shot and written and acted, like a horror film. I mean, there's things in it that I will have issues with that we'll get into in like the realism or whatever, but like, we're supposed to be afraid of this doll. This doll can kill you, and everybody is afraid of it. Like, nobody is like, well, what's this fucking doll gonna do when it starts doing stuff to them? So it's just like, Cujo or something. Like, it's a monster, you know, that's killing people. And where the humor comes is the fact that nobody is responding to the fact that it is this tiny little doll hand,
Dude,
or even like the little hammer that knocks her on the forehead. That made me laugh so fucking hard. And nobody makes a joke about it. I mean, the guy does go, well, I guess it might have been the murder thing, and then they laugh, but they didn't see it. Right. But yeah, it's just like so boink.
Yeah,
funny.
And also shots of the little quick shots of Chucky scurrying. So fucking funny.
It's but also so creepy. It's
also very creepy.
It is a child.
But dude, when they kept showing the shots of Chucky climbing up the stairs at the end from the outside when he was trying to get into
the mental institution.
Dude, that shit was so fucking funny,
and
dude.
That is the time. But the best is that's the time that they choose to really have that kid get scared. He's fucking Chucky's coming.
I know.
Chucky's coming. Like, you mean that kid in a latex mask?
That they don't, because they never show the face, obviously, because they were like, well, we're just gonna make sure he's wearing the shit, but never show the
with
face.
A big fake wig.
Yeah, exactly. So you're just seeing a fucking kid, or it might have been a little person, just crawling up the stairs.
They did
just like,
both.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah, and the kid's like, let me the fuck out. And it's like, oh, this is not the kind, this is not as intense as what you think it is.
Yeah, but before we start nitpicking all the actual effects and everything, I just wanted to, we'll get back to your notes and we'll get there. But I just wanted to say that this movie does do that. In this world, nobody breaks that barrier of it being funny, Yeah. And I mean, it is funny that they're throwing this little doll around and it's a person, but it's like throwing a little doll or a little kid and like its little arm just like flops whenever it hits. Like, the doll doesn't have life until it starts moving after somebody does something to it, so it's silly. Like, the effects look silly, but because they're shot and reacted to it makes it funny in a way that's, I think, works well.
Right.
For horror.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and I agree. Like, the shit that was funny was just me personally being like, oh, I see what they did to make that shot, but you're right. It doesn't, what is it? The tone never crosses that line in the movie.
The tone allows you
play off that.
Yeah, it allows you to be scared if you want to be scared, but it also allows you to enjoy the campiness of it without going straight into jokes, which is what does happen inevitably with this franchise.
It does, but I feel like for you to really have an effective horror, to me, you have to really care about whether the people fucking die or not. And to be honest with you, they did a terrible job.
Well,
even about the little kid.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck it, kill the little kid.
Yeah,
that can be true, and that can not be true, and it tends to not be true in slasher flicks like this, where it's not, it's not about the story, it's not about the characters, it's not about who dies and why, or you want them to live and why. It's literally about, I want to see some people get killed in some fun ways, and then I want to see the bad guy die real fun. Like, how do they beat it this time?
That's the kind of horror movies that I fucking hate.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, it's a genre all its own. It's not. I wouldn't really say they're scary. As far as they are, they could be disturbing. All that kind of stuff. But I don't think that the goal I don't know. Maybe the goal is to scare people, but yeah, this one doesn't really scare. I don't think.
Yeah, well, not a grown person.
Yeah,
It did back then I think it didn't. Here, I think this is a lot of the time too. We forget. We've got to look through it. No, like I'm playing devil's advocate with myself.
Yeah,
That's why I don't think it's a bad movie. I just didn't think it was a good movie either. But like
that's fair.
I think you have to think about it through the lens of 1988.
Yeah.
There's never been a slasher flick about a little doll like they played with the idea of dolls coming to life and tell people what do like the Twilight Zone and shit in the 60s. But like not to the extent that this was. And it gave people nightmares forever. Like look at us all. It's still so entrenched in pop culture that it did do a lot. So you have to give it that.
It's true. It was a brand new idea.
Yeah, but it builds off of a sort of built-in, what do you call it, like irrational fear of phobia or whatever. Like people are afraid of clowns. You do a movie with a scary clown, you got a built-in fear there. People are afraid of fucking dolls.
Yeah,
like they are creepy.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, and they're creepy.
Thanks to your mother.
And some people don't find them creepy at all. So. Yeah. All right.
That's the best breaking news of this whole episode is that story about your mom just fucking absolutely torturing
My mom is fucking awesome, though. Like, ask Jake. My mom
hell yeah. No, absolutely. We all know that.
She's got a sense of humor that's the gallows humor.
Right.
That's the reason why I've got that kind of sense of humor. And
it was definitely, it was never meant to traumatize you.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. It just did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Well, sometimes sometimes trauma is worth it if you get a good laugh out of it.
Yeah.
I lost my cursor. There it is.
Agreed.
Okay. So anyway, all right, Bryce, let's keep going down the list because I'm sure we got some notes to talk about there.
Spider-Man wrote and directed.
Okay, no, he did not. This is not Tom Holland Spider-Man.
So that joke has never been done, especially on this podcast. Was it? Did we do? Thank you, Stark. Did we do? Did we do fucking Friday Night last week? Was that Friday Night? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is kind of, we usually don't do a back-to-back of the same person.
No, and it happened
accident.
on accident because we planned to do this film, and we had tried to, we didn't know, we weren't going to do Friday Night.
Right.
That came up last minute, and then I did not even know
that it was Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Did you know Chucky was Tom Holland before?
No. I didn't.
And then the fact that they used the Sarandon was just crazy.
Yeah, once I started watching.
No, yeah.
Once I started watching Fright Night, and I was like, Tom Holland, why do I know that name? And then
Spider-Man.
Yeah, and then I was looking up stuff, and I was like, oh,
it's Spider-Man.
No, it's not fucking Spider-Man.
I mean, it literally is though.
I mean,
you can't.
He's not just Spider-Man, though.
Speaking of, he's in a new movie on Netflix that Stark. If you haven't seen it, you would love it.
Is it good?
It's weird.
It's that one with John Hamm, right?
No, not.
Who is in it? Who's the other guy?
Robert Pattinson is in it.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson and John Hamm.
He's the new John Hamm, I guess.
No,
he's having his John Hamm moment.
John Hamm had Mad Men. That was about it.
Well, he was everywhere for
That's
about 5 years. That's what Pattinson's going through now. He's doing great. I hear he's killing it.
Anyway, it's a good movie. I mean, it's well done. It is.
Is Pattinson good in it?
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
The devil all the time,
because he is good. Yeah, the devil all the time. Sorry.
I guess Pattinson.
Yeah, you can check it out. You probably enjoy it.
It's like the new fucking Brando or something, huh?
Well, Pattinson is, man. He's a fucking incredible actor. Pattinson,
he really is.
He's an incredible actor.
Well,
but he doesn't. Good. He almost never does leading roles.
Yeah,
because he likes those other ones that are more interesting. But now he's going to be Batman, so who knows what that's going to.
Right. I think he's going to be a badass Batman too. Dude.
I was pleasantly surprised with the trailer. I will admit.
We will see.
Pleasantly surprised.
But again, not Batman or not Spider-Man. This movie was not done by Spider-Man.
Of course.
So he wasn't playing Spider-Man when he directed this movie. That's what he's trying to say.
Stark, you have to be on my side.
Don't listen to him, Stark. Don't give him.
I'm a swinger.
Stay on the dark side. Stay with me on the dark side, Stark. We can call it the Stark side if you want.
Yeah, there you go.
Better.
That's a new podcast.
So Billy did. Oh, there you go. So Billy did the voice of Chucky too, right?
What?
The guy that played Billy.
Brad
Yeah,
Dourif.
that's all he did. I mean, yeah, he played
after
the,
yeah. So
No,
he
that's
was
his
doing
voice.
the voice too.
Yeah,
Okay.
except for the
good guy voice.
the good guy voice.
Right,
That was actually, I have his name down here, Eden Gross, and that is the voice of the Corky doll, which was a talking doll. Because the My Buddy dolls didn't talk, if I'm not mistaken, but there was a talking doll that kind of looks like, Chucky or whatever. That was called Corky. That was from the 70s, and the guy who recorded the voice for the Corky doll recorded the voice for the
Oh
Chucky.
wow, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's cool. Let's see. Okay, so there was I think it was either on television. Yeah, it was when they had the Good Guy show on in the background when the kid was making the
breakfast,
and they did the advertisement about the Good Guy dolls. And there was a giant mascot in a giant good guy doll. That should have been the killer. That was way creepier than the fucking doll.
That
itself.
was Tom Holland.
Oh, wow.
That was the director, yeah.
Wow. That suit was the creepiest part of the movie.
It did look like a Garbage Pail Kid.
It was the creepiest part of the movie, I thought. Like, genuinely, I was like, that is frightening as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, that should not be happening right now. And, of course, man... I'm kind of interested in what you were saying about the rewrites and everything, because a lot of my notes are about how there's a lot of like, it's a little tropey a little bit. There's a lot of like, you have the news anchor talking about the death of the guy and like then she brings home the Chucky doll as she's talking about it. It's like, they're trying to warn you.
By the
like
way,
that kind of shit.
I love the idea of buying the Chucky doll in the alleyway.
Yeah,
From a homeless man.
No, not a homeless man.
Hey,
A peddler.
A peddler. That's
a peddler.
what
They called him a peddler in 1988. There's a peddler outside.
Yeah.
That motherfucker was a homeless man.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I know we'll get to this later in the fucking notes.
And apparently
the single
a
greatest
rapist.
montage ever was the "Where's My Hobo" montage.
Yeah.
Where he goes around.
Dude, you're right, man. That was a "Where's My Hobo" montage. That's amazing. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Well, they spent so much time on it. They could have spent time building, I don't know, character, anything.
Or, developing any sort of respect for mental health or anything. I mean, they throw that fucking kid into a prison.
Right.
There is no windows. It is just bars.
Yeah.
It's just open air prison in like Chicago or something. I don't know where they were. It was city.
But hey.
Nondescript city.
They
didn't even bother to change his clothes.
No, he never changed clothes. He was in his pajamas like the whole damn movie.
Guys, they assigned a guy to him. He was fine.
A guy who was going to inject him with tranquilizers, just willy nilly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, come here, kid. You're hysterical. Trust me, this will help. You fucking just put, inject with random chemicals.
But so anyway, keep going.
Well, so what? I wonder what the original screenplay was compared to what we got.
The original plot, and this is one of those things because, like, for instance, in that babysitter scene with his aunt or whatever, Maggie.
Maggie.
Yeah, Maggie. That fucking bitch or whatever. The fucking bitch that deserved it. There was a lot. That's where the creepy stuff was happening, and that's where you could make this movie scarier. I think is to keep the creepiness and not see Chucky do things and everything like that. Yeah. And that was kind of part of it where, so the original plot was to have the good guy dolls would have like a latex skin with that was able to bleed. And like when they would get cut, you'd buy good guy Band-Aids. So it was a way to sell more. Oh, and it was just like a thing. Really creepy. Well, they make dolls that piss. They make dolls that shit. They make dolls that eat. This one bleeds.
Make a doll that bleeds.
Wow.
Right,
for like a boy, then whatever. Yikes. So Andy was going to they were going to cut their hands, and he was going to make a blood pact with his doll. Yeah. To be like best friends for life. And the blood mixing with Andy's blood would ended up bringing the doll to life, and he would be protective of Andy and sort of like manifest his loneliness and his isolation and all these people. He's got an overworked mother, absent father, all that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. Even though we find out his dad died or whatever, but still not there. So like the mother the babysitter was going to get killed because she didn't pay attention to him. And like the teacher, which they actually use in part 2, there was going to be like a teacher who was real shitty to him, and then that teacher would get killed. And so it would start to be...
Yeah, she gets fucking killed with a damn ruler and a
ruler and an air pump. But so like all these people would start dying around Andy, and he would keep saying, Chucky did it, Chucky did it. And you don't necessarily see it.
Right.
And it only happens while he's asleep. So like throughout the movie, you're kind of realize like, is this really just this like 6-year-old boy acting out and murdering people, or is it really this doll?
Yeah.
That's a better film.
That's
a way better film.
Way better film.
That's a way better
instead
film.
Of the voodoo serial killer. I mean,
the Mancini had no voodoo. He had no voodoo in his original script. It was
because it was actually written well enough to where he didn't need to fix it by using magic.
Yeah, it was just like a psychological.
Right.
It was a psychological horror, but like with a
Oh, that's way better. They should have just done that.
Slasher flick. Yeah,
I guess Holland wanted I guess he wanted a culprit or something.
I mean, I'm sure the producers did too. You know, they wanted
and then they
something.
could sell shit. You can see merchandise with that.
And they were going to have
wanted a monster.
Yeah.
There was also an original script when they came up with the serial Charles Lee Ray. When they came up with that name or whatever, who's that serial killer guy or whatever, there was going to be a script where he was actually Andy's father. And that's how he ended up being there. So like there was another thing that would add another, characterization, some levels, some layers to it.
See, again, it's character building. Yeah. That's what that whole movie was missing.
Yeah.
Or
like
depth,
you just got you came in and you're
depth.
like, I guess this kid has no dad and
right.
And then
dead,
and like the cop is just a cop, like who like nobody has anything. The mom, like, does the mom love the kid or not? Or is she a good mom? Or is she a overworked mom? Like,
you can't really tell.
You can't. Yeah, she never does anything, and nobody believes the kid or really tries to console the kid. As much as they're just like, no, you fucking retard. This thing is not real. Like, it's awful. It's awful. So
that's why I would pose. And I know this is not for the no conclusions of this part of the beginning of the podcast, but I would say that the remake, as shitty as it kind of was considered, it's a superior film.
See, I just watched it and it's not because it does start out that way, with the. I mean, but again, it doesn't do the is it the kid, is it not? Like so they missed that right off the bat.
No, but it builds a little bit more to where motivation really.
Yeah, it does. But the motivation is very stock. Like all the characters that it kills are very unnecessary, that kind of stuff. And it like I was telling Bryce before we started, the remake does make some what?
You were telling me before we started that I smelled like shit.
So told you they smell like shit, and then I told you about the remake.
Yeah, then you told me about that.
The remake doesn't.
Now let me tell you about the shit that I saw.
It does take some of the aspects that could be changed to make this a better film, and then doesn't use them to make a better film.
I'll agree with that. I haven't seen it since I've watched this one for the first time in a long time. And I will say one thing. I will say this one does a really good job of, and particularly the babysitter scene. Where it builds tension and then releases tension, then rebuilds it, then releases it, then smacks you over the head with something. And I thought it did really good with, making you feel like, oh, something's about to happen. Never mind, it doesn't. And then it does. Where you don't see a lot of that, I feel like, in that, a lot of times it just builds tension and then it happens.
Well, yeah, that's what I think a lot of what you're talking about is the Luton bus or the cat scare. Where like there's tension being built in a scene, and then a jump scare happens, and it turns out to be just a cat instead of the killer.
Right.
Or that comes from an old movie called.
I noticed that too. That
comes from
the jump scare.
Yeah, that comes from an old movie called Cat People from the 1940s. It's an old B movie, and in that movie, this woman is being pursued by this other woman who's turning into a panther that's going to kill her, and it's just like constantly. Like she's like, oh, looking over her shoulders, and then she comes to a spot, and this big hissing thing jumps out at her, and it's just a bus. So they call it Luton was the producer. It's called the Luton bus.
Oh, okay.
So like you think it's a murderer, but it's really just public transportation.
Oh,
which is also a murderer. No, but in this in that sense, I thought it did a really good job. But my one comment though was about how she felt that window though. Like she fucking stumbled really long way out that fucking
there's a lot. Like one of the things,
Chucky's got a powerful fucking
that's
blow.
the thing. One of the things about this film is it does not, like, none of the physics work, but they always don't work. So maybe this world just has like real low gravity. Because this I mean, okay, I know he's turning into a human and everything, but he's still made out of foam. And
he has no muscles.
He's got no muscles. He's just a doll, and he's able to like knock people over, grab people. Like he's able to choke people while he's not on the ground.
Yeah.
So like he's just holding on to a dude with one arm, mind you, and somehow he's able to choke him.
It would be fucking amazing if they
just one single arm, dude.
Yeah.
One little tiny arm. And it's not just that, but like I remember thinking whenever he got shot the first time, I was like, that doll has no nerve ending.
No.
How is he feeling pain?
And that's the other thing is they talk about it not being. Sorry, Bryce, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say it would be amazing if, like, with the maybe this world has just weird physics or something. It'd be amazing if the writers threw in like an exposition line, like one of the cops that's looking at the scene or whatever, and he's like, oh yeah, just like throws in a toss away line, like, oh yeah, I was playing basketball the other day, and and jumped 20 feet or whatever, like just threw in a fucking like just to be like
a 20-footer jump.
Yeah, or like oh yeah, because you know how our world doesn't have any gravity, it has way less gravity than the regular world, right?
Just the worst setup.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like that super exposition, awful.
Just a toss away.
The way nobody talks.
Like the camera's panning as he's saying, he's like, well, because you know how our world doesn't have the same gravity, right? So anyway,
doesn't have gravity. The same gravity as what?
Yeah, exactly.
As what?
I know. And then when you see Chucky like throwing people, you go, well, remember he said the world doesn't have the same gravity.
Yeah. The gravity on there.
So it works. It plays. Okay.
Or ever since the moon got closer and the gravity is...
Things have been acting real weird around here.
Somehow they turned it into a climate change.
You're right. Like, oh, boy. And then we get into the politics.
My one question, too, is with that with the spell, right, that he does transfer into the body. All of it's in a different language except one line that's randomly in English. It's like, give me the power, I beg of you.
I know.
And then the rest of it's in Latin.
Yeah.
One line of English. The rest completely different. Like, what went into writing that?
Well, then, and also, it's Latin, but we later find out that he learned it from a voodoo priest, which would not be Latin. Like voodoo is like Haitian and
French.
Yeah,
French in origin.
Would not be Latin.
It sounded French. There's certain parts of it that sound like French. Yeah. But like I was just wondering, like, whoever was writing this spell, they just decided to add a line of English for good measure, and I don't know why.
Well, so that we would all get it, man. It's like
I mean, it was.
I guess.
Yeah. I bet there was a take where they're like they kept doing it, and then somebody was like, in one of the test screenings was like, so what's that guy saying at the beginning?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I really liked the film, but I didn't understand what that guy was saying.
the writers.
I checked out.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It kind of, it does kind of make sense because you think about it follows like with lightning follows it. It strikes down. And so it does kind of coincide with basically what he's saying is give him the power, and then electricity comes down.
Right.
It might have something to do. It does feel very screen tested.
Oh, I'm wrong, by the way. The chant is Haitian Creole, but mistaken as French. And it follows, I call to thee, Damballa, give me the power, I beg of you. Leave me mercy from this mortal coil. Grant me life beyond death. Move my mortal soul into this vessel. I command to thee, Damballa. I command to thee, Damballa. Move my mortal soul. Blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
Also, what possessed him to transfer his soul into a doll anyway?
Because
he was dying. He was I'm dying. I gotta find somebody.
Yeah,
I gotta. Find somebody.
We learn later.
Would have it.
Yeah, we learn later that he did know these voodoo spells, and he was learning them from that guy that he kills.
Yeah. But what made him want to go into a doll?
Because he was literally dying. He was He was taking his last breath, and that was the closest thing he had to a vessel.
I guess, but what if you tried to do it into like a pencil or something? How much would that have?
Now that's another movie.
That's what we're playing.
And you know what? Or a
point.
pen, and it's called The Pen Is Mightier.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Okay, I like it.
That would be really weird, like a real meaty, like human skinny pen. It's just,
yeah. See, that's
or not even just like it just has to like roll. Like it doesn't have it just has to roll and like bounce up.
Speaking of that, though, that was one of my notes. There are so many. Chucky does so many barrel rolls in this movie, and that shit looks funny as hell too. Because there's times where it must be those weird physics.
Everything.
Because he'll hit the fucking ground and then immediately just poink. You know what I mean? He does an L. Like it doesn't. It defies
when he hits the ground, like rolls under the couch.
Dude.
Yeah,
it like so fast in a way that
it's so funny how like he has like, weight to him. He has like
getting
ability to jump and all that stuff. But anytime he is, in air movement, like where it's very clear that he's just being pulled or thrown. Like there's no weight to it.
Right.
But like he'll jump like he's got muscle, and then like you kick him and he goes, or you shoot him and he goes, whoa, and his arms just kind of flop. Like there's nothing there.
Right.
So
I will say they did a good job of making him look, creepy and freaky when they finally burned him alive.
Yeah.
And that was pretty fucking creepy at the end and of course he comes back and he's going to, and he does, and then you get a whole scene of him trying to kill someone with a completely fucked up face. I mean, so that was cool to see.
I do feel like that.
But it's still not as good of a movie as Mancini's original idea.
Yeah, and I do feel like the end, he came back like one too many times.
Oh, big time. It was like, okay. I didn't
need him to come out of the vents.
Right.
And then that, and then they still didn't kill him. And
when the guy...
They told him to shoot through the heart the whole time.
Yeah.
And what was that? She shot off every limb instead.
Well,
I know. She fired like 6 shots and fucking missed...
I guess because
point blank range.
He's like the Grinch. He's evil, so his heart has shrunk.
So small.
10 times smaller.
I know we're kind of
hit with a bullet.
I know we're kind of going backwards, but like, because we're going to barrel towards the end there because that is probably the best part of the film. But it did get better as it went. I will say that, and I will agree with that. But going backwards though, whenever the kid skips school with Chucky, and then he goes to find like that ex-associate that he had to go and kill. I wonder, this house is clearly abandoned that he's in, right? It's like completely abandoned.
Yeah.
Yet the gas is still on.
Dude,
I didn't even think about that till just now.
When I was watching, I was like, how's there gas?
No, that would be off.
Yeah.
100%.
Right. And then seeing the hand...
I love all the close-up shots of the tiny doll hand doing things. I think that's why I love this movie.
Yeah.
It's just like these weird, and it's all meant, to be like creepy, scary, like murder stuff. And it's just this little doll hand.
Yeah.
And it's like such a cute little doll hand. That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
Barely grasping its hand around things, just more pushing on it.
Right. I want to do a music video where it's just a supercut of little doll hands doing things. Yeah,
playing different instruments and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah, because what an idea! Like, of course they had to do that. You know what I mean? It's like you can just like see the thought process of the director being like, "Well, we're not going to show his whole fucking body. That's too much work.
Yeah,
let's just show a hand doing it.
It's what you don't see.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's what you don't see that really gets you." Leave it to the imagination.
Oh wait, before we move on from that scene, Stark, the cohort of what's his name of Chucky. Who was that guy?
You asking me or Stark?
Yeah, either one of you.
Well, I know who he was.
Okay,
because he was also in Shawshank.
Yes, he was,
and he is, and it brings it back to Seinfeld. It always goes back to Seinfeld. He's the bootlegger.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you, Bryce. Like, seriously, man. Like, it took 2.5 years, but god damn it, you're getting there, bro.
Yeah.
The episode
I'm
was
making
the
my
little
connections.
Kicks.
Little Kicks.
The Little
Kicks.
Kicks.
Yeah, that was the Little Kicks episode, yeah. I I still got a long way to go too, buddy. So don't
I know. I just
don't
want to
give me
say,
too
like,
early
you know,
of a congrats.
It's great. It's great seeing you nerd out though on film connections and being like, you know, it's awesome. I just want to say,
yeah. And this movie, oddly enough, has a direct connection to the first film we did this for October.
Now I'm trying to remember what the fuck that was.
That was From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh yeah.
Because the unseen dead father of the child is Cheech Marin.
Nice. Hell yeah, I had that one queued up, but I didn't know you were going to say Cheech.
Yeah, that's even
so
better.
It worked even better.
But yeah,
that was perfect.
No, actually, the picture of there's a picture of what is supposed to be his dead dad on his thing, and that is also Tom Holland.
Oh, gotcha.
No, I was just fucking with you.
Oh wow, so that really worked. I thought you were being serious. Well, then that worked out perfectly as a bit.
Yeah.
Good bits.
There's another part that I thought it was really ridiculous. Just going on the ridiculous,
give it to us.
You know, train here. Whenever they finally get into Charles Lee Ray's apartment, and they're looking around, and first off, you learn that not only is this guy a criminal, an accomplished serial killer, he also apparently is an accomplished voodoo practitioner, and also an extremely talented mural painter. Like, what the fuck is? How is this guy?
Well, you know,
that mural was incredible. What the fuck? He painted that?
Wait, what mural?
What
the fuck did I miss?
There's like a giant mural in his apartment that's like this weird, like Seder voodoo, like.
Oh, in the voodoo guy's apartment. Oh,
in Charles' apartment.
In Charles, but it's exposition. They're saying, like, how can we tell people what the fuck's going on, because this makes no sense. Let's make a giant mural inside of his apartment.
Yeah, just a mural of like satanic stuff.
Oh, that's funny.
Like you would do spells and paint pentagrams, but this is also just
that. I don't remember that part anymore.
It was very short.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
the set director had a field day though.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they really had to. But then, like, you know, you move over to like the voodoo guy's place. Why the fuck does this guy have a voodoo doll of himself? And
dude, where
did it come from that Chucky knew where it was?
Well, that's what he says. You shouldn't tell people where you hide all your mojo. And it's like, but why would he make one of himself and then hide it and tell you where he hid? Like, none of this makes sense.
There's no context for what this conversation was.
Unless
it's a voodoo shaman with like a death wish, you know. And he's like, but I can't do it to myself, so I'm gonna leave little clues.
I mean, the only thing I can think is that there's like a positive way to use a voodoo doll, like maybe like jack it off or something. Like, I don't,
dude.
Like you just,
I know, man. Like, what is he? He could have. I could see him like taking his voodoo doll and then taking like a Cher doll if he really wants to hang Cher or something, and then making her go down on him. He's going down on her, you know, and then maybe that happens.
Man, it really feels like Cher's on my feet right now.
Yeah, exactly, right. So maybe he could do that, but you're right. Like, you have to be there's something really mentally wrong with you if you're making it not for those reasons, hiding it, then telling someone where it is, you know.
And not
playing
just
with
that,
yourself.
But a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
And also, when the fuck, like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, you're bringing up things from the past that we have no fucking idea what you're talking. What's the point?
Yeah.
Why there's? I'm telling you, they thought, you know, it'd be a cool way to kill somebody.
Voodoo.
Would be if they used the voodoo doll.
Well, no, I think it was even more. I think it was even more like, how can we make it realistic that this doll can kill a man? We give him a smaller doll version of that man,
right,
that he could just stab.
Yeah,
it is multi-layered.
Yeah, right, exactly, multi-layered. And also, I will give them credit though for using voodoo correctly, which is something I complained about with Temple of Doom.
Oh yeah,
where they were using the voodoo doll to like that shit always annoys me when they use voodoo dolls in movies, because they use them to you know. What's the word? Kind of like, what's the word? Frustrate their enemy, make their arm do this when they're trying to, you know, run or something. They never
go for the kill.
It's like, dude, just rip the fucking head off.
Yeah.
You know, go for the kill. At least Chucky did that. At least they did it right.
Well, and
I never knew that you were such a voodoo doll. You know,
dude, if you're gonna use it, if you're gonna voodoo it, then voodoo it right, baby. You know, that's
that's definitely still not real voodoo.
Or you know, don't it.
I do love the effect of him breaking the leg, and then you just see that guy's leg break like that.
That was
the
awesome.
editing there was great.
Yo, that was great.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
And he just stabs him one time. Just
right in the middle.
Oh man, but it would have been so awesome if he used the tiny hand shot to break the leg of the guy, of the actual guy. So you just see the tiny hand grab the leg and just, that would have been. These physics. Physics.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, as the films go on, they get more. Just like.
More worse versions of that. Even.
No, it's like the more outlandish and creative, if you will, ways of killing.
Right.
Just like because
you got to top
Nightmare
it.
and
you got to top.
Yeah,
it.
and Jason and all those other ones that they or Friday the 13th. They just keep trying to top. But anyway, so so I don't think what else do we have to talk about? We already talked about how insane that insane asylum is. For a child, I mean that was not as crazy as Cuckoo's Nest,
Yeah, right.
That was mental prison.
In Chucky's defense, could you imagine being stuck inside of the body of a doll and paired with the most fucking annoying 6-year-old?
I don't think that's fair. I don't think that kid was that bad.
Look, I think
he was annoying as fuck.
I mean, he's running from a murderous doll.
He did a good job, but the way he
drove him to murder.
The way he says Chucky was so annoying that I had to write a note about it. I was just like, because it's like there's at least 20 minutes of this film of just him walking around going, Chucky. Chucky. It's like, shut the fuck up already.
Which also is another thing of like, how awful is this mom? Like, I know that she's like, I gotta get my kid a present, and like she acts like she cares, but this kid is just roaming the streets, riding public transportation,
riding the fucking subways.
The original gift,
walking around
a box that was the size of the doll he wanted. With a single pair of jeans.
I think there was supposed to be more clothes in there, but it was a pair of jeans. And then she's like, "Oh, you don't like clothes? Yeah, he's fucking 6.
Yeah,
6-year-old boys don't like clothes,
right?"
And her watching him open it, being like, "Oh, geez, I hope he likes it."
And I love the when she gave him the other gift that was the good guy's tool set. And she's like, "I didn't even know about the doll until like so." You're buying accessories for a doll you didn't know about?
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah.
What? Who are these people that are making accessories for this? Also, $100 in 1988 is quite a bit. Yeah, that still seems pretty cheap for a doll. I guess it doesn't really.
They said $100. I was like, "What the fuck?"
But it's supposed to be like it could talk to you. You could name it. It can respond to you.
Yeah, remember whenever Furby came out? Furbies were like more expensive. Yeah. They were pretty expensive.
Yeah, they were pretty expensive, but they were $100. They were not. Yeah. A full size walking, talking doll.
Yeah.
I mean, the real My Buddies must have sucked.
It is a doll that can murder you. I mean, that's
that's only when it is inhabited by the spirit of. A guy with the name of 3 murderers.
Yep. Charles
Manson, Lee Harvey Oswald,
and Ray, the guy that killed Martin Luther King.
Yes, Ray Parker Jr.
No, but when there's something strange in your neighborhood, that's who you call. Ray Charles was the murderer. Yes. He's got such good aim with his gun. Ray Charles does. So let's see. Sacrilegious. Such an asshole I am.
Also, she's shooting a lot of bullets into an apartment. Like she was shooting into the ground.
Oh, so many. Time. Yeah. Yep.
I'm surprised nobody else got killed.
Not safe at all. Of course. That was really my, I don't know. I think I've said about all I really need to say. We could talk about the car scene. That was the first full on action of Chucky going after someone and the way he's stabbing through the thing.
And he kept there was a lot of weird things with Chucky is that he goes for the kill.
Yeah.
But then sometimes he goes for the kill and misses and then toys with them and then just runs away.
Right.
So
I just thought it was super impressive that Chucky did a full-on fucking donut in that car, made that car do a full-on donut. That was fucking hilarious to me. But
it's also weird how sometimes Chucky, they say he can't feel pain. but he could get killed if he shoots.
Right.
But then sometimes he does feel pain.
Right.
Well, no, he does feel pain because the thing is when he got shot like by him, he was like, oh shit. He went to the voodoo guy and said, hey, the reason why I'm coming to you is because you freaking I got shot and I'm not supposed to feel pain.
Oh,
and that's, he said, because you're turning into
human.
a human.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
You're
yeah,
what? So suddenly you're growing nerve endings? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it makes no sense.
Well,
Right.
How can you feel that pain?
There was originally they had intended to start having the doll grow stubble as like
really?
To like
That's
the more
kinda
human
cool.
he was coming, and like they just said it looked dumb, so they cut it.
Yeah. Well, good. That's
Well,
all I had. Do you have anything extra you wanted to do, Stark, or say?
I did want to say that they did have a little person play Chucky running out of the fireplace.
I noticed that.
But it
that
doesn't look.
fucking was hilarious.
It doesn't
too.
look as bad as him walking up the stairs,
Right.
Because so they realized that the little person was about 30% larger than Chucky,
Right.
So they built a second set that was 30% larger than the real set.
Are you
so they
talking about
had
whenever
him
they're
running
rolling
around.
couch and shit?
Yeah. So they had him running around
That
on
is
fire in a
hilarious,
set that was
man.
slightly larger.
That is fucking funny.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. That's funny. They
Here's
put
the
the
question,
time
too.
in, man. You
They
can't
really did.
You can't fault them for not trying. And
Could you
doing it.
imagine trying to convince a police officer that a doll is really alive?
Right.
I thought that, like, to me, I think that's like really what the scariest thing about the whole thing is that no one would ever fucking believe it.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
Which is why they should have kept it more of that original
even when
idea.
I mean, and eventually you'd have to figure it out. And when it starts to kill you, you're like, well, something's up.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, this doll really is moving around. Something's up.
Yeah.
And that's when it does change his mind and everything. But like, after it's all said and done, and they do kind of touch on this in the sequels and everything, like nobody's going to believe even that police officer. Like the police officer would not then go to the precinct to be like, guys, this fucking doll came to life.
Yeah.
They
And
would
the
be like,
precinct's
all
like,
right, we
oh,
gotta
shit.
come up with something else.
Yeah.
We gotta be planting some
Yeah.
evidence. you know?
They might just blame the kid still anyway.
Yeah.
It's like,
Which
They
is,
do.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
yeah.
what happens
Yeah.
in the sequels.
oh, really?
Well, the mom is like they've locked her up because she's committed to the insanity, and he's in the foster system.
Oh, I see.
And then after that, the foster system kicks him out because all of
He
his
goes to military boot camp.
all of his family members, new foster family members, keep dying. So
Yeah.
they just send him to military school. And then guess what? Everybody at the military school starts
Yeah.
to die.
Right.
And it's all because they keep trying to rebuild Chucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if they wanted to, if the U.S. wanted to like always win wars, they say, this guy came to our military school and everyone started dropping like flies. Let's just drop this kid by himself in enemy territory and see what the fuck happens.
With Chucky.
With Chucky,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
But he's allowed to. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I guess that's about everything that I wanted to talk about. Bryce, did you have anything else?
No. I think I covered everything.
Stark.
Yeah,
A little over,
I think I pretty much threw out everything that I want to talk about as well.
This movie's not super long. It's a good length. I didn't get bored. It's entertaining. I will say that the original cut of this film was close to 3 hours long.
Whoa.
Which
Wow, it was like
what?
100 or 1 hour and 27 minutes.
Yeah,
Wow.
what did they?
Yeah,
what
what
could
did
they
they
have
cut?
not cut?
Right.
Maybe
What do you
story.
need?
Maybe it's the story. That's where the story.
That's what all got cut. Was the story?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do box office. The numbers before we do.
Oh, yeah.
ratings, right?
Yeah. All right. Give me your number. Give me your number, girl. I need those numbers. What's your number, girl? Give me your domestic number. Give me your international numbers. What's your motherfucking opening weekend number?
That's so dumb.
That's good. That's our fucking thing.
I just like that
It's the-
Stark doesn't hear the.
Yeah,
beat.
you didn't hear the beat at all.
No, there's a beat.
So
God
he
damn
does.
it.
So he's.
I
So to
felt
him,
it
he's like,
felt
what the
that needs a
fuck?
beat in the background.
Yeah.
I can see Stark he's like it sounds like I can feel a beat. I hear him on it. He's just being an idiot.
Yeah.
All right. So estimated budget of $9 million. 1988, November 13th,
Okay.
the same day that Charles Lee Ray was killed in that old or that toy store.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice planning.
What was the opening weekend gross?
You want to give it a guess, Stark?
I'm going to say $6 million.
All right.
I'm going to go 10.5.
10.5?
Yeah.
Well, you're both wrong. Stark is closer.
Ooh.
And you would have been closer if you said the first two things that you started to say or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, it was 6.5
Ooh.
I was super
What,
close.
dude?
Yeah, you were super
both
close.
wrong, but you
Yeah,
guys
he
were
nailed
both
it,
close.
Well, no,
basically.
because you started to say 6,
Yeah,
and then you
I
said
was gonna-
10.5. So if
Yeah.
you'd said 6.5,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but no, the Stark, I did say you were closer by far, and
Well,
not
he almost-
over.
He pretty much nailed it, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
a
pretty damn
nail.
close.
Yeah.
Especially since you were off by
You know
4
you're
million.
feeling this shit, dude.
Yeah, I was off by 4 million. I meant to hit
All right,
Drunk
so
ass.
the cumulative domestic gross. What do you think it was? It made 6.5 its first weekend. Granted, this has gone on to spawn 7 sequels. Wait, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sequels and a reboot. So it had to make some money.
And didn't you say this was the for the beginning of the summer blockbuster? Didn't you say
No,
that
I did
earlier?
not say that.
Okay. That was a different
Getting
movie.
his movie
That was a-
gaps mixed up.
God damn.
Stark, you want to fancy a guess there?
This was what's the number? I was only kind of paying attention.
Domestic overall domestic
yeah.
gross.
Oh, overall domestic. I'm going to say 50 million.
All right.
Ooh, I'm gonna say the fact that it spawned so many. It only made 6 in its opening weekend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 35 million.
Oh, Bryce, you take it this time.
Yes.
33.2.
Oh, dang, dude.
All right. So, cumulative worldwide. Who wants to take a stab at it?
This got a worldwide release.
This got a worldwide release.
Oh,
Now, the cumulative worldwide, I don't know if this is like a legitimate worldwide or
Sure.
if this is just it to date.
sure.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but don't overshoot.
That
your
makes
load. I'll
me
give you
think
that
the
hint.
number is higher than what we would think it is.
Well, then you'd think wrong.
Okay, so I'm going to say 40. I'm going to say $45 million.
All right.
I'm gonna go with Stark's domestic gross and say 50 million.
Stark takes it 44.1.
Ooh.
2 out of
Nice.
3 ain't bad, Stark.
That's right.
All right, well, let's go around the horn, get our ratings.
Some ratings. Stark, you want to do honors as the guest? Give your first rating.
Sure. Out of let's say out of 10 bitches who deserved it.
Nice.
I'm gonna.
I want to
give it-
isolate that. I'm just going to isolate that. 10 bitches
Yeah.
who deserved
that
it.
sounds way worse than it.
He's our own. He's our own Joe Exotic.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly.
That bitch deserved it.
That bitch Carol. Bitch Carol Baskin.
That bitch Carol Baskin. So out of 10 bitches that deserved it, I'll go ahead. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. I will out of 10. Out of 10. Bitch ass bosses.
Oh, yeah. Fuck that guy.
That guy was a
What
dude.
the
Yeah,
fuck
that-
was that guy?
He was a fucking bitch.
Like, oh, really? It's your kid's birthday? Well, do you want this job? Like, fuck
Like,
off. No one. Who the fuck does
And like
that?
you can't like even when you're working retail, like you can't make somebody take someone else's shift.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
work a double. You have to work a
You
double.
have to
Exactly.
work a double.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, like, what a.
Don't worry, your friend can go pick up your
Yeah,
son.
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
fuck you.
Like, are you sure you want to leave this job? There are 0 others like it. You know, like she literally could have just gone next door and gotten the same fucking
And
job.
obviously this fucker has 0 power because they were both just not watching the show. She left all these jewels out on the thing and went outside to buy a doll
Yeah.
that they probably sell in that store. She was buying stolen merchandise,
Right.
walking back in with it, just be like, "Fuck you, Baldy."
Yeah.
And he was like,
He works on
"Yeah, well, you got to work now. Fuck that guy."
She works in a bad side of town. Remember, she said she was going to go by and try and find that hobo. She's like, that's a bad side of town.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
first of
where's
all,
my hobo montage.
if you're
Hobo
looking for a
montage.
hobo, you're
love that.
probably going to the bad side of town.
right.
yeah, especially when you're like, he has no teeth. No teeth? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Anyway.
That hobo was a straight up rapist.
Rapist. Yes.
Rapist.
He's a
Hardcore.
rapist peddler.
That turned
that's right.
fast.
He's trying to rape
Yeah.
her.
Mhm.
That went real dark real fast.
Yeah. So
Anyway, back
out
to
of
your
10 bitch ass bosses, I got to give this one a straight up and down 5 bitch ass bosses.
All right.
Just a 5. Not. It's really just right down the middle. It's not the worst, but it could have been better.
Not good.
Yeah.
Could have
All
been
right.
better.
Well, now the time comes for worth it or worst shit.
Wait, are you not going to give your rating, Chase?
Oh, I don't usually give a rating because I've
Usually
seen them
doesn't give
all.
the ratings.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, my rating, it's usually just the worth it or worst shit. I will give that one. I will say this is definitely in my book a worth it.
Oh.
Big scale.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's very telling of the time period in horror films and slasher films. It's bizarre, you know. I did just rewatch number 2, which I realized I've seen a lot more because, like, for whatever reason, including this time, I couldn't find number 1 streaming. So, like, every time I've tried to watch number 1, it's just catching it. But I seem to always find number 2, and then I started watching number 3 and realized I had never seen that one before. So,
Number 3 is my favorite one.
Yeah,
that one's the best.
Oh wow.
I did not get to finish that one, but I do plan on finishing it. So, but I've seen the other the 2 more that are like more like comedies, and then the 2 latest ones are darker. And they weren't. I don't remember them being great or bad. They're just
No, they're bad. They're bad. You're talking
Are they
about Cult
bad?
and Chucky and shit?
Yeah,
Not good.
Cult and Curse, and I don't remember
Yeah, not
being
good.
impressed.
Mm.
But they weren't
Interesting.
silly. Like Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky are silly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're just parodies of them or satires.
Speed is just fucking weird.
Yeah, and I think I hated that one. I think that one was really stupid.
Okay.
I know his son ends up not wanting to be a murderer or something. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch it.
His doll son.
His doll son.
Yeah,
His son
yeah,
is a
yeah.
doll, and it looks like a little Frankenstein man or something. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It really, to be totally honest with you, it looks like Timothy Chalamet.
Oh.
Yeah, it does look
Okay.
like
It does.
Wow.
Before his time.
Wow.
Like, I don't even think
Interesting.
Chalamet was born.
Right.
But
Anyway,
yeah. So anyway,
Okay. I'm gonna
yeah.
take your
So
word
this
for
one, but if you don't watch this one and you want to watch the second one has some better kills, and I can see it either way. Going into it, I think this is the best one out of them all. That being said, 1 through 3, watch them. It's fun. Whatever. It's worth it. It's worth it for your time.
Okay. I also at the end of the day, I gotta agree.
Big scale.
Worth it.
There you go.
Just if anything, I feel a richer knowledge of popular culture because of seeing it, and it's one that if you're a fan of horror movies, it's become one of those franchises. Where it's like, well, if you're a fan of horror movies, well, fucking might as well watch Child's Play, right?
Yeah, and I think it's
So
the
go for it.
least. It's the lesser of those major franchises. I don't think anybody has a super love for it as much as like a Friday the 13th or
I say watch it just so you can at least know what people are.
really.
I would disagree wholeheartedly. Chucky is just as ingrained. You go into go into Spencer's, go into fucking
That's true.
Hot
It is
Topic.
there. I don't know. Yeah.
You see more Chucky shit than you do Friday the 13th stuff.
Well, it is definitely more toyetic, especially now that model or like figure collecting and stuff has taken off a lot more. You see a lot of Friday the 13th stuff. Like a lot of the different Jasons. I've seen a lot of those action figures and things like that. But a Chucky doll is a Chucky doll.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got the shirt on here.
Yep. He's there with Scream, Jason, and Freddy.
Yeah,
So.
Ghostface.
Oh yeah. Yep, that's right.
But yeah. So Stark, what do you say? Worth it or worst shit?
I haven't heard of this segment.
Well, it's either
before.
is this movie worth your time and watching, or is it just the worst
up on
shit?
Gotcha. I picked up on it. It's kind of in the name, but-
It's some deep stuff. Okay, like you
It's
gotta
basically
really.
like,
I
is it worth
apologize.
it
We did
or
not
worse
walk
shit?
you through it.
Anyway, I look. I have to say too. Even though I even told you in the beginning, I don't think it. I think it's a heavily flawed film. If you're looking at it from a critical perspective, as far as acting, performance, character, storyline, really those things that you look for in a film. But
You look for in a film.
yeah, right. However, I would say as far as the impact it's had on pop culture and society, is definitely going to be a major worth it. Otherwise, how the fuck are you going about life in the modern world without knowing who the fuck Chucky is? But also, as a piece of cinema that I feel like kind of was some. I think it spurred a huge trend in these types of films where inanimate objects like dolls and shit like that come to life and try and kill people. I feel like it's definitely spurred quite a bit.
Yeah, that's true. It is the godfather of that whole genre.
Well, I mean,
isn't it?
really, it's Talking Tina from the Twilight Zone, which this drew a lot of stuff from that. And then there's also, I think it was a Tales from the Dark Side movie, maybe, or one of those movies that it took from.
I think it was Erie, Indiana.
Yeah, Erie, Indiana.
But yeah, no, and that's why I always say, so Twilight Zone for sure was the originator of, it's my doll and she's telling me to do bad things. But like it takes to a whole nother level where it mixes it with that 80s slasher flick that I believe really was the formula that's the reason why it survived the test of time. So as a film, shitty. As a watching experience, you have to see it. So you got to watch it.
Well, yeah, and this was 88, so this was like right at the end, towards the end of the 80s, when like slasher flicks were kind of dying out. So like even
maybe it revived it.
Yeah, I mean even Jason at this point was starting to get a little comical. Some of the later Friday the 13th were leaning into the comedy more. Friday, Nightmare on Elm Street, they went. Freddy becomes a comic character as well. So this one, fits right in there. But it was Trilogy of Terror. That was the other one, not.
What you're talking about with that little with the little Tabuki guy or whatever?
Yeah, the Zuni Warrior or whatever. Yeah,
Zuni Warrior. That thing was. But see that. But when was that? When did that film come out?
That was like mid 80s, maybe early 80s.
Okay. Yeah. So that one kind of was maybe the first one where it was like a violently.
Yeah, it was 75. I'm sorry, it was 75.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a violently evil little toy, or doll. But like you said, I just feel like there's a reason why it's considered in the upper echelon of bad guys and slasher dudes and monsters. And the reason why it had a lasting effect because it's just a creation that you have to witness.
Yeah. All right. There you have it.
Tight.
All right. Well, let's get into the reboot recast. All right.
It was another drop, Stark.
So
yeah, I figured I'm starting to pick up on that now.
before we get into the reboot recast, I remember Stark and I have talked about this a lot before, but something that I always thought was inspiration for Chucky, but doing the research, I did not see it as inspiration. But there's this story of Robert the Doll, which we've talked about before, which is a true story of a doll that would cause mischief in this boy's life, and he would blame it on the doll, and his parents got upset, and then they anyway. So it's kind of the same story.
You're messing up the story, James.
Yeah, I am. I was trying to say it short, but then I was like, this is just going to take too long. But I've always said, like, oh, man, they should make a Robert the Doll movie. And then when I was looking at Vudu, because you said you could get this one for free on Vudu, I looked at Vudu, and they made, like, 3 of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a Robert the Doll, and then there's 2 that are, like, the creation of Robert the Doll, and it's, like, Robert the Doll fighting Nazis or some shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me. I got to fucking see that, dude.
Hold on, I'm going to look up Robert the Doll.
I have to see that. Robert the Doll fighting or fucking Nazis.
Yeah, there was there's Robert,
sounds
which
like
is Robert the Doll. Then there's Robert Reborn. That's the latest one. Hold on, let me. The Curse of Robert the Doll. That's the one where it says a cash-strapped student who starts working the night shift at the museum. Okay, no, that's the second one. So then there's Revenge.
Come on, Chaz.
Come on, Chaz.
It sounds like Puppet Master or some shit.
Infamous killer doll does battle with Hitler's henchmen aboard a train in Nazi Germany. That is The Revenge of Robert the Doll, 2018. Original title, The Legend of Robert the Doll, which would make sense since it's a prequel.
Okay.
How do you have revenge before you've existed?
Right.
But yeah, the infamous killer doll does battle with Hitler's henchmen. So I'm definitely going to have to check that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Next movie gap, guys. Next movie gap.
Are we doing a reboot recast, or what the fuck are you talking about right now?
Yeah, so anyway, I was just going to say, with this reboot recast, since it has just been rebooted and recast, your reboots doesn't necessarily have to be casting as much as it could be what style of movie would you make necessarily?
Well, I would.
If it comes with a cast, then that works.
We can do that, but I will say that I have a reboot recast of my own. So I'll just do my own reboot recast. I think it's something that we are all going to agree on. The only character that needs to be recast, or worried about recast, is the kid.
God damn it! This is going to be the same
Haley
idea.
Joel Osment.
Should be played by Haley Joel Osment.
My thought was the doll.
Now, Haley Joel Osment. Now,
Yeah, no, the doll should be played by Haley Joel Osment now, and everybody acts as though it's a fucking doll.
I thought about that too. So it's a kid,
but only
and then
the
Haley
bad
Joel
one.
Osment is the doll.
Yeah, but only the bad one, and he's
still the
dressed up
kid.
in that thing. But also, like the he's wearing a costume that is the size of the doll's costume.
Yeah.
So like he doesn't fit in it, and like but all the other Chuckies are still just like little dolls, and him is just not.
Right.
That's what I was.
Mommy,
get at.
Chucky wants to know where his fucking glass of milk is, bitch.
Yeah.
And everybody acts like it's not Haley Joel Osment.
And it's like the scenes of Chucky talking to the kid is really just him leaning over and whispering some shit in his ear. And then the kid's like, Chucky says that Aunt Maggie's a bitch and got what she deserved. It's just a grown man.
Like, it's time to stop
Telling him
pretending, Andy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and then the fucking cop is like, what? Someone's gonna believe that this fucking thing killed that lady? No way. Not gonna happen, dude.
And it's just like he does all this like very extensive like space work and body work where like when he's being held he spins himself a little bit like
The shoe print of the flower on top of
but dude, the shoe print is a huge one, but the kid also has it. Yeah, and they still think it's the kid, even though the shoe print is huge. That's my idea right there, and
which by the
feel
way,
like it's a natural conclusion for the three of us to come to.
Yeah, that was all I was going for.
That goes hand in hand with what Chase was saying, though. Like that is a different version of what Chucky could be.
I was trying to build it so I could do that.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, okay. Well, the minds converge. Yeah. If we were to do it like another way, I would make the Pee-wee doll the murderer, and then have a franchise off of that. If we're gonna do it the way you were saying.
No, you do it with an Urkel doll, and then his catchphrase could be, "Did I do that?"
Oh, did I do that? After every time he kills someone. Yeah. That's good. That's not bad.
And it's played by today Malcolm Jamal White.
Oh,
wait, is that his name?
No,
that's a different guy.
That's
he's got
Leo.
No, you're right.
Jaleel White.
Jaleel White.
Yeah, Jaleel.
Yeah, it's played by today Jaleel White. I'm surprised they haven't made that movie, to be honest.
Well, I think they already did like a serious sci-fi version of the film, and we all know that it didn't turn out that great. So,
is that the new one you're talking about? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, and then you got Annabelle. I mean, there's just no more room for Chucky. I don't think. I think they tried to.
They'd have to go back. Look, here's the thing: is to me, they'd have to go back to the way that this Chucky was, in the sense of doing it better naturally, but like going back to the whole, I'm sorry, but there is something inherently scary about, a serial killer's ghost being inside of a fucking doll, but it changing slowly into a human being. I want to see fully realized human being doll. Like, that would be fucking scary. Like, what happens whenever it's too late? Chucky is stuck inside the doll body.
Well, that happens in the second one. But,
right, but
like,
he doesn't
the doll,
look like a human being.
No, he just looks like the doll.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't stick with it. They like, I want to see the realized version of what would happen if he stays inside that doll, and then him trying to go about living his life, maybe like fucking trying to get a job, trying to like pay rent, like just do like the day-to-day grind.
And it turns out it starts out there's this whole thing. He turns his life around and now he is Ryan Seacrest.
and you realize it's a prequel to Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah.
That's
Get
awesome.
it? Because he's small.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Is he? Oh, I didn't know that.
I have nowhere to speak on that one because
I didn't even know that was a thing about him.
Yeah, he's a little guy. Hard worker though.
But that would be great though. Like, see what like what it would be like with him trying to cope with life as a doll-sized man.
Yeah.
My doll-sized life. A Chucky
My
memoir.
doll-sized life. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It could be like a TLC
I think that's
show.
pretty good.
Well, I feel like we have covered it.
Covered it all, baby.
We covered the whole thing. I lost my cursor again. I keep doing that.
I will say before we end, I think I smell the shit you were talking about from last week, and it's definitely coming from your vents and not me. I smell the animal because you had the raccoon problem or whatever.
Okay.
So.
All right.
It's not me. I just want to clear the air there. Literally and figuratively.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps it up. Bryce, you want to do our plugs here?
Yes, you can find us on, obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can find us on YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button, baby. Like and subscribe and share. Fucking Facebook at The Movie Gap, Instagram at The Movie Gap, Twitter at The Movie Gap. It's all at The Movie Gap. Just fucking search for it and like it and share it and subscribe and follow us and comment. Thank you.
Yeah, we're also
listen to Jody Seabuddy in the World's on fucking iTunes and Spotify as well.
And we're also on something called Good Pods or Good Pods HQ. So
what's that?
That's a thing I signed up for. It's about podcast. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Find us there.
Review right there.
Find us there.
But yeah,
and rate and review. Leave a rate and review, and smash that fucking subscribe button right there, okay? Smash that subscribe.
Might be over there.
Maybe it's up there.
I think it's like right down there.
Here, click this button that Chase is going to superimpose.
I think it's over there. It's over there.
Click this link right here. You going to get on that, Chase?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stark, you got anything?
Any plugs?
Yes.
There's like a Febreze one that I really like. I think it's like Ocean Air or something like that.
We got
one of those in here.
It's Bath and Body Works.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
It's good.
Also, let's not forget the much anticipated Tell All Part 1 for 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After ?
Dude.
It starts tonight.
Does it really?
Tune in. Yeah.
Dude, I'm so
have you
down
been watching
for that.
this season?
No, I only watch it on fucking Hulu, like after, you know what I mean?
Dude,
like
I had to get like a TLC login from like my
Wait, we
sister's
do have a
roommate,
TLC
Cable.
login. I can watch it.
Dude.
All right.
Addicted.
Okay. Yeah, it's
I've seen every one of them.
Me and Ash put it on and we can't stop watching. It's
Will Colt and his mom finally fuck? That's the real question.
what am
Tune in
I
and find
missing?
out.
What the fuck am I missing? Okay.
Everything.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm surprised you and Carrie don't watch it. It's right
incredible.
up y'all's alley, dude.
Well, maybe her.
It is drama.
I go Bachelor and Bachelorette. That's about as far as I can go.
Okay.
You have no
Missing
idea,
out.
dude.
Missing out.
You don't
dude.
know.
Missing
No, I don't.
You're
No, but I'm too busy rewatching Supernatural right now. Actually, we just started rewatching Lost. Don't suggest it.
Oh,
Right.
dude, I did the same thing recently. We got to like season 3, and I was like, I'm done, dude. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, it's back when
I love
it's back when people like when the whole thing is just like people confused character development for learning more about what used to happen to them.
Mhm.
Like learning their backstory is character development. Like, no, not really.
It's great. Have you guys been watching Lovecraft Country, by the way? It is.
Yeah, I started
No.
that.
incredible.
Yeah, we're on like episode 4. It's on HBO.
That's tight.
It is so fucking good. Anyway, this is for your podcast
Oh, cool.
listeners to tell them what's
Yeah.
fucking good
Yeah.
on television. Right?
Yeah, they don't listen this far.
Yeah, it's just us now.
Oh,
Yeah,
we can
it's
say
just
whatever
us.
we
can
want.
say whatever we want.
Yeah,
When you say fan favorite me, it's because I'm the fan, and
Yeah,
I love my.
and you love yourself.
You
Yep.
love hearing yourself.
Right.
Exactly. All right. Well, we will see you next week. Until then,
Nom
in
space.